Welcome back to Weather Center Live, where today we're kicking off our week-long series on weather and technology. From snow to rain to ice, you've probably seen and at times had to drive through it all.
Yeah, cars slipping and sliding from snow and ice on the roads. They cause scenes like this.
But it doesn't have to be cold for dangerous driving. Heavy downpours lower the visibility on the roads for drivers.
Yeah, and with these kind of downpours, this can cause also can come with damaging hail. If it's large enough, it can break through your windshield. And in fact, the largest hailstone measured in the U.S. was 8 inches in diameter.
So Colorado, one of those states that can see every type of dangerous travel weather, from blizzards to severe storms. And the Department of Transportation is turning to new tech to help keep drivers safe on the roads.
Yeah, they're adding this new tech to one major interstate, calling it a smart road. Joining us right now is Tyler Sweedock with the Colorado DOT. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us. A really cool thing that you've got going on here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So this new technology is going to be used on I-70, such a busy road. Can you talk about how this smart tech will work and really what you're hoping it does for drivers?
Absolutely. Well, for anyone that's been to Colorado and ski resorts, they're familiar with Interstate 70. It can often be quite congested on your way up to the ski resorts, and we get terrible weather. And so this technology will allow us to understand what's happening directly on the road from listening to the cars directly, as opposed to trying to sense what's happening on that road from the macro scale.
So what kinds of conditions are you looking for? Is it hail, is it snow, is it rain, or is it all of the above?
Yeah, it's all of the above, but we want to be able to distinguish between each of those because they each have their own unique scenarios, right? If it's snow, if it's ice, if it's hail, we want to be able to warn drivers appropriately. Both before they get on the road as well as when they're on the road already.
So how's this work? I mean, are you installing something in the car? Is it a sensor on the pavement that then talks to you? What is actually at work here?
Yeah, so really it's a series of radios that are communicating to each other in real time, 10 times per second. There's a radio on a vehicle, on a connected vehicle, and then there's radios on the roadside that we're installing. And the cars have a lot to say from the sensors on them. So for example, if your windshield wipers are going and the windshield wipers on 10 cars or 100, we know that there's precipitation happening in a certain area. So we want to be able to listen. And then most importantly, we want to be able to communicate directly to drivers in the vehicle, weather and other safety related information.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really interesting. And now, are you planning on expanding this beyond I-70 at this point?
Absolutely. So I-70 is just the first corridor we're trying this out on in our partnership with Panasonic. But we plan on building really an internet of roadways here in Colorado, and we're hoping other states follow our suit as well.
What do you say to the inevitable naysayers who are like, okay, they're going to use this to find out how fast I was going, my data is going to be sent to other people about what I'm doing? How do you protect the privacy here?
Of course, we take that concern very seriously. And the information that these cars will be communicating is actually governed by federal standards. And in those standards, there is literally no personally identifiable information. So we don't know the make or the model or the VIN number or the license plate of a vehicle or who's driving it. All we know is that there's a car in this location exhibiting these sorts of information. So very, very anonymous.
That is amazing and cool stuff, and great that the privacy is really protected for people. Tyler Sweedock from the Colorado DOT, thanks so much for joining us. Really amazing stuff going on there.
Yeah, and obviously needed because you know how much weather is an impact for your driving.
Yeah.
You look at some of the impacts here for driving. Wet pavement is always underrated as a real risk. Some little light rain and drizzle brings all the oils out onto the road because they kind of go on top of the water, and just wet pavement can be extraordinarily dangerous.
Yeah, and these numbers are really striking to me. I mean, look at this. Just from rain, over 500,000, and the next category here is snow and sleet at 200,000. So rain, a pretty big deal. Yeah. Underrated for sure.
And these are all crashes. You know, like this is actual stuff that you will then have to go to your insurance company at a minimum and really have, it's life-threatening risk otherwise. So let's talk about those wet roads. If you are driving at 70 miles per hour, which, highway speed, if it's dry, it takes 315 feet. I think a lot of people don't realize how long it takes to stop, even in perfect conditions.
Right, yeah, so you have to be extra cautious when it's raining because it takes nearly double that distance to brake in a wet condition. And the first few minutes when the rain starts is really critical because those roads, again, it gets very slippery. You can hydroplane in a speed as low as 35 miles per hour. So you don't even have to be going highway speed to start feeling the effects.
You lose that traction with your tire and the road, and suddenly stopping is not possible. You're fishtailing all over the place. And then if there are really heavy downpours, you can lose visibility. It doesn't need snow, right? Heavy rain can make it impossible for you to see, such that if there is an accident in front of you, whether it's rain or snow, you might not have enough time to stop before you absolutely need to. So here's another look at this. 50 mile per hour driving speed. If it's dry, 125 feet, but on snow, 500, and ice is even worse.
This is a big deal. Make sure you take precautions on the roadways if needed. Your life is certainly worth it.
Yeah, so we're going to continue our week-long series on weather and technology.
Yeah, and tomorrow we'll show you how social media can help rescue efforts after a major disaster. That's right here on the Weather Channel starting at 9 a.m. Eastern.
And don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to look back into the tropics. The East Pac has been the hot spot for tropical activity, but what about the Atlantic, Dr. Navarro?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little hint of something out there coming off the coast of Africa. We're going to show you what and when and what that could mean for September.